Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in the world where financial necessity is the moment when a human are having economical issues due to fulfill their own need to live in the world. This house believes that scholarship should only be granted on the basis of financial necessity. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 points will be delivered to the table. Firstly, why it's so justified to only base on the financial necessity to grant a scholarship. Secondly, what is the benefit of financial necessity? Thirdly, what is the scholarship and why it's so exclusive? Financial necessity is the moment when a human are having economical issues due to fulfill their own need to live in the world, to study and to do many things. Someone who has a financial problems will be very good if he got help from the government or from the foundation to support his learning needs. Into these motions, we can make a classifications to the financial issue student which is truly need a help from the government to take an education. This motion is characterized pure to the poor student or an achievement, and the outstanding students are not an indicators of this debate. Ladies and gentlemen, in the status quo right now, the world are faces an economical crisis and economical issues because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Almost all the budget are firstly prioritized due to this pandemic, while the nations are struggling to defeat its country from the current economical crisis. For example, to run the politic test in Indonesia. To run the politic entrance test in Indonesia, it has been postponed by the government because the first priority of the government is COVID-19. The distribution of the fund from the government was allocated for the COVID, which is now in the status quo, are the biggest problem and an urgency that needs to be solved quickly by the government because it involves the lives of the civilians, where a country must really protect the rights of the civilians. It's civilians' rights to live with a healthy and calming life in a country. Why it's so justified? But because considering so many reasons why a financial necessity hold the indicator due to the scholarship given by the government, where here I am going to describe about it. Because by the government, why the scholarship is so exclusive and why it's really beneficial not just to the financial necessity student but also to the conditions that what's in the condition in the status quo right now as long-term beneficial. Ladies and gentlemen, let's come to my argument. Scholarship, why it's so exclusive? Because a scholarship are a grants in the form of financial assistance giving to the individuals that aim to be used for the continuations of the educations taken. Scholarships are so influential to the world of people who need a help in taking an education in a school or college. To firstly, reduction of the college or school fees. Wouldn't it's good to get a school or to get an education without thinking about a cost? Secondly, an honor that can be included as a portfolio. In general, prospective recipients are required to take a series of tests and selections which are followed by 100 other scholarship hunters. Surely, why there is 100 other scholarship hunters? Because surely many people want an education with a minimum cost or even a free cost. Ladies and gentlemen, thirdly, is get a relation with the fellow scholarship recipients. There will be an opportunity to get acquainted and meet the other fellow scholarship recipients. Also could gain a relationship is wide open. We can sharing information about the lecturers, collaborations, or even a future career. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why a scholarship is so exclusive to the student. Ladies and gentlemen, in the ideal conditions, second of all, in the ideal conditions, a student who have a financial problems usually are from the lower class. So one of the way to improve their standard of living or their standard of their family and their own destiny is by getting a good education, by giving a good education and good job so that they can live better in the future as a long-term beneficial. Why the rights of the financial necessity students are the most important to be protected by the government. This proposal, this motion is also the only way for the government to protect the students' rights. Basically, rich people can apply for LPDP to study abroad. Why I say so? Because a regulation of its scholarship, LPDP scholarship, is to help the poor student to have an education abroad. They will prioritize the poor student to have this scholarship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as an example, a rich student which have a lot of budget to buy an expensive stuff. So why they need the government fund to get a study? They need the government help their financial to get education. It is so important to give the rights of the scholarship to the poor student or the one who are should being prioritized by the government. Ladies and gentlemen, last, why this proposal are not harmful for the other students? Second of all, because firstly, as the financial conditions, they are capable, they have the enough power, they have the capability to afford the primary needs. Secondary needs also, tertiary needs primary needs they could fulfill, secondary needs they could fulfill, also the tertiary needs they could fulfill. If secondary and tertiary needs they are capable enough, they should be powerful enough. They also should be powerful enough to pay the educations. Ladies and gentlemen, then this poor student, let's see how these poor students are struggling to get an education. These poor students even have to struggling and sacrifice one of their primary needs. Example, they sacrifice their budget to eat, so that they could use that money to pay the SPP or school budget, or vice versa. They have to stop from school to get a work, to get the job, so that they could fulfilling the budget to living their own life. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why this proposal are so justified in the side of the house to the financial necessity student and to get a scholarship. It is not harm others, but it's equal to others. It is also has a long-term beneficial to others and to the students who get a scholarship itself. Not only for the urgency problem solving, but it also has a long-term beneficial, as what I have explained you clearly on my argument. That's why we do agree with these motions that this house believe that the scholarship should only be granted on the basis of financial necessity, and we are so proud to oppose. Thank you.